Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hi, my name's Jude. We're at BRIXPO Adelaide, Australia, 2024 for a record-breaking Great Wall contraption. We're going to start down here with a pinwheel reservoir stepper. This is a basic brick-on-brick stepper that can hold a lot of balls. It's good for regulating ball flow. From there we have what is called Monty Splitter. This is a modified WMO1 with a basic splitter attachment on it, so it can be used to split the ball path. I think we're going to go front and back. So at the back we have Hugh Millington's pusher-upper. This is a nice Technic build. It's very smooth movement. At the front we have a pair of Hexa wheels. I think this is Random Brick 23. You can search that up on BRIXPO, you'll find instructions for these ones. Another simple Technic build. We've got a batch at the front of these Bricks by the Bay workshop modules from 2021, 2022, can't really remember. This is a sliding pusher module, very basic. There is multiple variants of this one. This one is the one that uses all the 5x7 frames. At the back we've got a batch of Matt Norman's whirligigs. So this is a nice simple sweeper type module using axles. The next set we've got some Mako Arts workshop modules, 2017, maybe 2018, 2017. A nice simple stepper, low friction stepper. This is a really good one. Up the front, we've got another one of these reservoir steppers in rainbow, because rainbow color scheme is always fun. Hugh Millington pusher-upper again, nice simple one. And then we've got a couple of Rick Fields modules. This is the industrial buckets, but doubled up. And at the back we've got the tumble dryer, I think it's called. It's a nice scooper using the banana gears. We've got a set with a Mako Arts Bricks by the Bay, Mako Arts Bricks by the Bay. At the front we've got a batch of WMO1 modified Brickvention 2020 workshop modules. The key one being the duck. We like the duck. A couple more whirligigs. Then we've got a pinwheel module, a nice simple stepper, side stepper. And then we've got a pair of Sawyer modules at the back. This is a simple conveyor and a two-step running in shared power. At the front we've got a whole batch of 10x10 steppers. I think this is June's design or modified June's design, something along those lines. Then we have another random brick. These are 10x10s using axles to slide instead of brick on brick, so they're pretty good. I think we missed this at the back. We've got another set of Bricks by the Bay, and then another two sets of Sawyer's steppers and conveyors. And then at the front we've got a whole bunch of Lassie modules, Lassie ball pumps. These have actually been really good. I'm surprised. No aggressive annihilations, which is nice, and running on shared power, which I think is just insane. Two motors driving whatever, 13 of those. Then we've got another four WMO1s, all running shared power. We have a Akiyuki pinball, a nice simple conveyor. Then we've got a Fernando Q conveyor called Tester with the flexible snake ramp, which is a nice one because you can deal with modules that have interesting in-baskets. Along the front we've got some Mako Arts steppers, a whole batch of those. I think they were part of an Interlug build last year. Yeah. We'll get this wheel tower next. This is a 9-stacker of Lassie's wheel. It's a very basic module. A really cool way to get some height and get some interesting movement is stacking modules. So this one here using the trans blue tubes that were available or started being available a couple of years ago. That's very cool to watch. Along the front we've got a little drum, which is a Lego Marble Run design. This is the Polo interpretation. After that we've got some dozer linkages. This is a Nonsense Wars design. This is the original Nonsense Wars design, unmodified. but we're running some crazy shared powered here. There's like five on one poor little M motor. These are nice basic modules. This is another one of the group builds. Along the back, we'll just get these. We'll get those later. We've got a pinwheel reservoir stepper, another pair of these Sawyer Ks, and then we've got a whole bunch of Hexa wheels. So this one was group build / interlog build back in the day, 2022, 2021. These are very reliable. This is the graveyard to which we send all of the motors that are dying, because it's a very low torque module to run. So very interesting to watch all the movement. And alongside the front, we've got a whole bunch more of the dozer linkages. And then we've got a Fernando Q sweeper. It's got a name in Spanish that I don't know how to pronounce. But that one's been really good this show, running in the uniform sweeping fashion, which I prefer. Then we've got some dozer linkages again. We've got some 10x10 steppers. We've got more 10x10 steppers. We've got this is called 4x2. This is the John Sherman variant of, what's it called? I forgot. Hopefully I'll remember later. By a French builder called Toph, who's been around for years. That's Ram Sosolente, that's right, yeah. Then we have the 2-scoop, another Rickfield module. This one's pretty cool, I like it. Some simple steppers and using the digger buckets, which I'm sure we all have lots of. And then at the front is a really, really old module. I don't even know, 2006 probably. It's a bit meh. It's ROD version 3. If you know what ROD stands for, please let me know, because that's all I could find it referenced by. From there we have the version of the perpetual prototype. This is the modified by Dunes and whatever, Stuart Roll. Hang on, I'm making a mess. Trying to fix stuff. Yeah, based on the original Tom Atkinson design. From there we have another one of these ROD version 3. At the front, though, we've got a Brickfair stepper. This is one of their workshop modules, 2021, 2022 maybe. 2022. I can't remember. And then we have the prior one, which, no, this was the 2021, right? Yeah. This is the sweeper by Nate Rank. Yeah. A nice Technic one. At the front, we've got another pair of Sawyer Ks. And then we've got another pair of pinwheel reservoir steppers. And we've got another pair of classic space themed Mako Artses and Bricks by the Bay. And then we combine back into one lane here. We've got a petrol prototype catapult shooter, and then we've got a pair of Staffen / Storks designed motor wheel module. This one's been pretty good. This is the updated version that came out a little while ago. From there, we've got what is known as the Towers of Chaos. These are based on Nonsense War's idea of using gravity to tension conveyor belts. This is a Dunes design or Dunes brick engineering for all three. The Descenders are either modifications or originals. The first one is a Dave DeGoby idea of a cheese spiral. This one's really cool when you chuck a lot of balls in it. The next Rainbow Tower, I'll wait for you to get that one here. The next Rainbow Tower has got a nice rattle down. Very basic. The third one that we have, another classic space themed lifter, goes into more of these trans blue tubes. And this one actually looks really cool. A great way to use the height. From there we've got an Akiyuki wheel and steps. This one's been around for quite a number of years. Quite reliable. Very simple movement, but very elegant. And from there we have a Akiyuki Type 2 train system. This is 100% modified using an L motor train cart, rubber band reverse stations, a modified unloader station, and like a train, it's doing train things, so it's being train reliable, which is low at best, but it's been pretty good for the last few hours. From there, we have the designer of that one. I don't know the designer of that one offhand, sadly. A nice lifting ramp module. From there, we have another pair of Brick Fair Workshop modules. Simple steppers. Using axles this one, so I like it. I like axle steppers. They're nice and reliable. Then we have the block of Mako Art steppers. So when they did this workshop module in the Netherlands, this is how they arranged them all on the table so that they could all be powered from the back. So 1, 2, 3 motors running all of these with axle that runs through to power all of them, and they switch back and forth. From there, we've got another pair of these reservoir steppers, and into a bypass, which is a Dunes design, nice long ramp, gravity tension, modular, which is going past this epic mountain. So we intended for the trains to run inside of this mountain, but the train system had a few issues, so we decided to just bypass it along the back. But we kept it in because it's extraordinary details. I'll let you just have a good look at it. After that, we've got another batch of Bricks by the Bay and Mako Art steppers. And then we've got a Archimedes screw type 1 or 2, I think it's 2, I don't know. Akiyuki design. From there we've got a batch 30, which is a module designed to test the GBC standard. Its whole purpose is to collect 30 balls using weight-based tippers. Once 30 balls has been achieved, it will release all 30 in a big batch. Sometimes you have to wait a little while for it to happen. Luckily, we're not too far away. There we go. After that, we have Hubbless Conveyor, which is a Dunes design using the grooves inside the small banana gears as a track to run the conveyor belt in. This one's pretty reliable. Sadly though, if you scale this up and try and use the big banana gears, there's just too much contact and too much friction, and you have a lot of issues. So this one here working great. And then we have my bridge. Nice basic bridge, conveyor belt, ramp, rattle, descender. Earlier on, I had my old issue of the telescopes popping off, but I don't know, it seemed to have stopped doing that, so I don't know what changed. It just decided that it was going to cooperate, and yeah, anyway. From there we have another Monty splitter, WMO1 conveyor belt with a basic splitter. And on the front we have Rat Stamper, and I know if Rowan Beckett is watching this video right now, he's laughing at me because I told him that mine never leaks balls, and now it's leaking a lot of balls, so oh well. That's a GBC Rat design, Dunes mod. It's a nice module. After that one we have Flip Switch, which is another GBC Rat design, Dunes mod, using a shovel to scoop the ball, and the crank pushes a gear up a gear rack, which causes it to rotate, which is pretty cool. Up the back we have Ball Shooter Marble Run version 2 by Bertha Van Beek. Uses a tire that spins really fast to kick the balls all the way up to the top where they can slowly go down. After that we have Invisible Lifts by Akiyuki. dropping more balls today than the last show, and I'm unimpressed because I thought I fixed it, but apparently not. I will have to look into it a bit more when I get back home. One of the coolest modules, I think, ever, just from the movement. Up the front we have now version 3, I'm calling it, of the egg process machine by Y Kuramada from Japan. This is my version of it using a stepper, a solidified gear chain, and a 1:36 gearbox designed by NDL. From there we've got Power Miner's Wheel by Rick Field with a counter-rotating drill bit on the inside. That's really cool to watch. This one's kind of a little bit funky, and it's been working good this show. At the front we've got a Catarata stepper. That's a really, really old design modification I did a couple of years ago now. One of my most reliable modules. It's quite a basic one too. At the back we've got internal gear chain, a design from Japan. I cannot remember the name. I should know the name. Oh, that's pretty rude. Simple stepper, banana gears wrapped inside each other. That one's been working. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, I'd fixed something yesterday, and then since then it's been fine. At the back we've got my cup conveyor type 2. It's a newer module that I did at the beginning of the year. It's had some modifications from Dunes now, and it's running just as reliable, just drops quite a considerable less amount of balls. Pretty happy with this one. I'm going to make instructions available soon once we make this a little bit more elegant, but it's a work in progress. Up the front we've got Akiyuki pneumatic module. At the beginning of this show I replaced the compressors for the first time in 2.5 years, which I think is, 3 years. Wow. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. It's been pretty good. I need to replace the cylinders now, I think. From there we have my cup conveyor type 1, the original cup conveyor. I finally think I've perfected the output mechanism. Very low amount of ball drops on this module this show, which I think is awesome. Up the back we've got Cups Cup Type 1, Akiyuki design. I think this is the newest version. There's like 3 versions of this that exist. I think this is the newest one. Waiting for some balls. So this is using the chrome cups, I think it's part X85, to pass the balls between each other. I'm notoriously known for being expensive, purely because of the existence of this module. Up the front we've got a Rick Katsumata design. It's called Small Module. It doesn't really have a name. It was called Small Module. Trying to run this at home, it was a little bit irregular in its motion, so I added this big old counterweight, and it's been much more reliable this show. After that we've got a Dunes design pulley conveyor. If you've got a lot of pulleys in your collection, I would recommend building it into this module. We'll wait some balls are coming. Yep. It's nice, simple brick-built chain, and the sprockets are pulley wheels with tyres on them as well. Up back we have double bucket wheel Berthel van Beek design using a whole bunch of buckets and banana gears. This one used to leak a lot of balls. I've made some changes. It leaks considerably less, but still leaks balls, so that's good. Suits my section. Ball leaks everywhere. From there we've got Cup to Cup Type 2, Akiyuki design. This one's been really good. I sometimes have issues with these ones. I'll chuck some in. Sometimes it drops balls in the mechanism, and the timing gets has issues, but not bad this show. From there, we have the 18 marches. This was a design I did based on a Phil L module. This is the first show I've had it at. There's been reports that it leaks balls, and that is true. I've tried to make some changes with parts that I had. I really didn't want to take these little axles out because I'd have to retime everything. So my solution to fix the ball leaks isn't really the best, but I will change it to 3-length thin lift arms when I get back home. We missed a couple at the front, we better go. This is the zigzag flags by, I think it's from the Netherlands. I don't know how to say his name. This one you don't see out very often because it likes to leak balls, but I've added these little connectors on here which seem to keep the flags more aligned, and if the flags are more aligned, then the balls don't just fall out often, which is great. From there we have a Kevin Mitchum designed low stepper. This is the Dunes modification, and an attempt to make a stepper as low as possible. From there we have a pinwheel design. It's called a little screw up. This is my modification, Technic frame modification. Really simple, reliable module. I would recommend that one. From there, we have my flipper, which is an original module, my first original module I think I ever finished. It uses a fork which is very cautiously tensioned so that when it falls down it can grab over a ball, but when it picks up it doesn't pick up fast enough to drop the ball. So we'll try and get one more in there. Inbox is terrible still. From there we have another Rick Field design. This is Lost on Lombard. This is the Lost on Colors variant. Dunes modification, it's pretty reliable except for the one dead spot, which I need to figure out. It's a good place to just dump heaps of balls because no matter where you put it, it figures itself out. At the back we've got Flying Deltoid by CK Ang. This is, I don't even know how many shows I've taken this to now. It is one of my most reliable modules. My most popular set of instructions that I posted on BRIXPO. Highly recommend this one. We've got a WMO1 just hanging out. Then we've got NDL design of a basketball player roulette. We must have something broken. Okay. So using these old minifigs with springs in their legs to shoot the balls. I didn't spend much time trying to tune it so it doesn't ever hit the basketball, but that's fine. At the back we have, what's this called? I should know this. Centipede Lift version 2. This is the Dunes variant. No, this isn't. I need to update it to the Dunes variant. This is an old variant. Pretty reliable. It's done a lot of shows. It's got quite a bit of ABS dust working on its parts now, so I think it's time for some assistance. From there at the front we have one of my least favorite modifications I ever did, which was, it's a great design from Tom Atkinson, but it was my framed interpretation of his Archimedes screw. It was really poorly done. I do intend to fix it soon. It just leaks balls and falls to bits, which is not something I like. Up the back we have, what's this called? Staggered Lift by Berthel van Beek. Yeah, a nice line module that tilts back and forth to pass the balls up. Now, this one can sometimes be a little bit funky in that bits fall off it and it does bad things, but it's pretty good at the moment. From there we have Matt Norman's The Throne module. A nice brickwall ball pump with some modifications, a gravity-based tipper, and some really expensive sports ramps to create a toilet, which is always a public favorite. Up the front we have the Silos, another Fernando Q design based on a Hugh Millington design. It woke up this morning and decided it wanted to leak balls because it didn't drop any yesterday, and for some reason today it's just doing a little bit of leaking. Then we've got 6 heads. This is my old 6 heads that I've had around since my first ever show. You can see that the green head is decapitated and the black one is dead as well. It is beyond worn. There is no life left. After this show, I'm going to go to Bricklink and buy all new heads and repair it because I cannot run it like this anymore. It's just sad. Up the front, we have my Bucket Pass Type 3. This is my design from a little while ago. It usually sits atop my bridge, but I decided to put it on the table this show because we'll find out a little bit later. Nice noise out of this module. At the back we have my bypass, which is bypassing some unreliable things or things that were not as modified as they should have been. Anyway, moving on. At the front we have my modification of Staffen/Stork's ball wheel. I'm calling this version 2. It's Technic frame. I chucked some banana gears on here, which was a fluke. I was like, I wonder if this fits. Using the banana gears means that the whole wheel assembly is lighter, which means that it doesn't fall as often, so everything's a lot more aligned. It's been great. I'm really happy with that one. From there, we've got a modification by Ethan McCain and myself of Philo's original sweeper module from way back. Got to get more balls again. Then we've got to have balls in this next one. Yeah. The next one we have is, of course, Batch 13 by Sam Frierson. So this was developed for a Great Ball Pit Discord challenge to design a module that exits balls in batches of 13, which this did. I'm pretty sure this might have won. Anyway, this is my favorite one out of those. From there we have the Black Hole, which is a modification of a Tom Atkinson idea by Dunes, designed to absorb balls and spit them out one at a time at 1 ball per second. From there we have this is the first time this module's ever been out. This is the Mario module, right? Mario, yeah. Using some ramps, the back and forth, the balls cascade down, nice simple conveyor belt. Great to see decorated modules. And from a new builder, his first show, this has been pretty much flawless, I think. No issues. After that, we have these are Andy Bell modifications of Sam Frierson design. I don't know the name of it. It's a small stepper module. Quite a few gears going on in this module. It's shared powered, so 2 motors are running all of these. It's been really good, yeah. And it's decorations on the front. See if you can recognise some of those. Some of those from not Australia or not Adelaide might struggle, but we'll give it a go. May as well look at the back while we're here. I need to get more balls again, but that's Akyuki's Planets. This is the second show that I've done with it. It's pretty damn reliable in my opinion. I haven't really had any issues. I did have issues to begin with snapping the 24 tooth gears and the worm gearboxes, but I swapped them all out for the older type, and they've been really good. One thing I would say though is if you're going to build this, there's a 1 length Technic pin on the bottom. It asks to use a frictionless variant. I recommend using the friction one because there's a worm gearbox in there. It's got a lot of backlash. If you use the frictionless one, it kind of stutters. If you use the friction one, you just wear the parts out, but it keeps it under constant load, which keeps the backlash away. So it actually works. Then I have my modification of Ball Thingy 2. This is John Sherman design. I can't remember the original designer that his was based off of. Can't remember. This has been great. I think this is awesome. Yeah, this isn't the final color scheme. I wanted to get some other parts, but they didn't rock up in time, so I'm pretty sad. And now let's have a look at the front. This is our workshop module or event module for 2024 at BRIXPO. This is my Banana Oaken design that I have had for a few years, sneaking around shows. We wanted to do a workshop like other shows, and we decided that the best way to do it was to allow the public or the participants to build their own little facades for the front, decorate it, make it custom, all those good things. So yeah, based on Hoken version 2 by Laurie George, which coincidentally is the BRIXPO Chicago workshop module for this year, which is convenient that we did this after. So yeah, so banana gears are used in this one, unlike Technic lift arms. A couple other changes. There's a second set of them somewhere else. We'll see them in a minute. Really nice decorations on most of these. It was really good to see. We decided to run them in shared power as well using NXTs because NXTs are cheap and they have really high power. So yeah, working great. Along the back we've got a few. This is my modification of an Akiyuki design. The Splat Gear Loader, it was called. Others have named it Splatiyuki. Anyway, this one's pretty cool. From there I have my mini shared power section, a simple conveyor belt that I did, another Mako stepper, another BRIXPO by the Bay stepper. This was to fill a gap. I had something that didn't work, and anyway, it's here now. From there we have Matt Norman design tilt shift. This is June's and my modification of it to put it in Technic frame, which makes it move a lot less. The original is known for walking around on the table. This one doesn't go anywhere. From there we have what's called Popper, Nonsense Wars design. I think this is probably one of my favorite modules ever just because it's so tiny, and it uses if you Google 1x2x2 brick modified with spring, you'll probably find it. It's a brick with a spring on it that can be compressed, and as springs do, they will spring back out. And if you put it properly on a beam, that will cause them to shoot the balls. Of course, while we're here, NXTs will time out. After that, we have Carlson design of a shooter. This is really reliable. This shooter, I recommend it if you want to build a shooter. It is paid instructions, but I think I don't know how much. It's not very expensive. It's definitely worth it. Yeah, super reliable and consistent. Hugh Millington pusher upper. I think that's the only one we have here. Yep. Very basic module. The most reliable module I've ever built. Never had any changes to it ever. I think it was reverse engineered by Fernando Q. There's instructions on Brick Safe. From there we have a modified Lassie wheel. Modified, yep. This is the lime wheel. It uses brick bending to create a semicircular wheel, which holds balls all the way up to the top where they drop in, and then there's a gravity-based tipper, which collects a couple balls until it overweights the counterweight and tips down. Then we have Torso's Carbon Lift, one of the coolest looking modules ever. Just so many gears going on. The mechanism used in this module I've used elsewhere. It's that pause go sort of motion, which is really cool. This one's been really reliable. From there we have 5 tilted rings by Akiyuki. Yeah, so this is the big brother to the original tilted rotors that Akiyuki did many years ago. Much more reliable this, much more modular. So yeah, as the rotors reach a maximum height, the ball is no longer secured and it rolls to a part that has an opening, which means it can fall to a second set, which is now at its minimum height to receive the ball, and then does the negative of that. Very simple spiral down, looks really cool. From there we have another cup-to-cup type 1, a very reliable module. Yep, I'm gonna fix it. Or not. We'll get to that. From there we have Rainbow Wave. This is a highly modified version of Berthel Van Beek's original design, using a whole bunch of 16-tooth gears along the back, replacing the 8-tooth gears because they were too much friction, too unreliable. A really elegant and a nice to watch module. I think it's given the builder a few headaches over the last few days, I think. Anyway. We have, this is like a hybrid. This started off as Berthel Van Beek's counter, and then it became John Sherman's counter, but then the parts didn't rock up in time, so it's like somewhere in between. Yeah, we see if you, yeah. You may have seen like there was 80,000 balls or something. We don't talk about that. So yeah, tipper based on gravity collects 10 balls or collects 9. The 10th sits over here, and the 10th ball will get delivered to the next ramp. And obviously that's flawless, right? We don't end up with an incorrect count, but that's fine. Up that we have Yoga Dragons, right? This is 6 heads by Akiyuki. This one's been named Yoga Dragons because our public called it that at one event in the past. And then we have poor old Catch and Spin, which was doing so well, and then now it's doing so not well, which is unfortunate. I don't know why. Can't tell you why. We need another ball bin. And I have something broken over there. Nice! Thank you. Alright, let's go. From there we're going to have to say goodbye to Catch and Spin. That's so unfortunate. From there we have Strainwave Gearing, which is another Akiyuki design. Really cool to watch. Elliptical sort of movement. It's a rare one to get to work a show, and this has done just that. But I better say that quietly because it will probably explode now that I've said it. Turning the corner, the final corner, we have, what do we call this? This is the Perpetual Prototype Shooter Dunes design, thank you. This is slightly modified. Again, it's another hybrid between the version 2 catapult and the original, using this timing gate. Then we have a Solaire. This is the frame version, original by Matt Norman. And then we have Pinball. Another Akiyuki design. And then we have the Brickworld section. This is the 2014 conveyor belt by Rafe Donahue. The 2015 stackable module by Brian Bonahome. The 2016 something module by someone, we don't know. The 2017 little ramp module by Brian Bonahome again. 2018 Brian Alano ball pump. And the 2019 John Brost sawtooth stepper. And then we have a broken module. Just because I go to the video, my modules decide that they don't want to participate anymore. This is switchback modification by Dunes of John Sherman's original design. And it can be okay sometimes. I will address that later. But I'll fix it in about 2 minutes when we're done. And we have this is 2015 Brickworld. Oh, we're getting to my rainbow section. This is one of the first modules I ever built. Dragged it out for this show. After this show, it's going in the bin. It's done. It's old. It's rainbow. I don't like it. Let's get some balls going. Then we've got another splitter, which I think after we do this video, I'm going to get rid of the splitter, just run a straight line. We've got some chaos going on, which is always good. We've got our second set of workshop modules. I'll let you have a look at those, and I'm going to figure out what's going on over here. So that feels like a dead motor. Yep. That's fine. A lot of these have been decorated, which was our goal, was to see if we could make like a whole scene of just different things, whatever the builder specializes in, their favorite thing, what they spontaneously thought about when they saw it, and create a little bit of decoration in all the mechanisms. I just want to jump back quickly, once you're done there, to one of my favorite modules. That's why I wouldn't skip it. This is the Type 2 bucket pass using the Brickworld ball pump, which was the first module I ever built, this one right here. And it's not the original design, the Type 1. The Type 1 I felt was very unreliable. This rotates the buckets a lot more, so the transition is a lot more reliable. And then we have a spot where we did have a 2019 Sawtooth, but it's probably running on the same motor for the last 3 years, so it's died. Then we have a perpetual prototype again, the original rainbow one I did. I actually built this when I used to use glass marbles. So I used to have a battery box as the counterweight, but I don't do that anymore, which is all well and good. Ram Sosalente by Toph, which has given us a hard time this show because it's really old and needs to be put in the bin. The next one we have is having a hard time. This is a BRIC Fair 2018 workshop module that I did modify to have like an inline golf putter like Laurie George has. It's just very poorly done, so I need to pay attention to that when we finish this. From there I have my ski jump, which I think it's Sam Forker came up with the idea, American guy, to use a long ramp and skate park little jump. This one's always pretty good. From there we have, this is the input from the invisible lift. It was modified to feed into Berthel Van Beek's bulldozer field. We do have a bulldozer field, it's not at this show. Way too much effort to bring it this show, too much other things going on. So that's turning the corner into Nonsense Wars design, cellular linkage, or cellular linkage, something like that. That's really cool and I like that one. Combining into the BRIXPO 2024 Banana Oaken module. Then we're into another Fernando Q tester. And then we're going to round out into the final module. This is the wheel tower. Lassie design, modular wheel, 29 high, trans blue tubes, and rattle tower, which has been the original doorway here in South Australia for many, many years. Reliable. That's very good. So I think it's something we need to say. We have achieved a grand total of 352 modules, or we did before that some of them broke, which is a new record for Australia. It's also a new record for the Southern Hemisphere. It's also larger than the Guinness World Record, but it's not larger than the unofficial world record. So it's a bit of an achievement. We've been working on this for over 2 years now, designing the workshop kit, building and running numerous events with lug mates to achieve what we've achieved today. So, yeah, that's the end.